Hey there. I'm really glad you're here in the Sink and Swim podcast. Before we get into today's episode, a little housekeeping. I want to help you get oriented just so you know where you are, how the space works, and how to take care of yourself while you're listening. So first, a gentle invitation. As you listen or watch, see if you can listen not only with your ears or watch with your eyes, but also by noticing what's going on inside your body. And that may change throughout the whole episode. And as you notice, permission to know you don't need to fix anything, you don't need to analyze it, but just notice it. Some parts of you might feel seen. Some might feel exposed. Some parts might feel resistance or concern about what we're saying. Other parts might feel relief, encouragement, or they might want to reach through and help us or hug me if it's just me talking. So notice how you feel as you settle in, whether you're listening in a quiet place or out on a walk or driving or in the middle of something, and also how you feel when you're done. That noticing is a really sacred work. And after you listen to the episode and notice, if you find yourself feeling the tug to stay connected to me or to the podcast or to any of my guests, please make sure to check the show notes and also make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening right now. Now is a great time to go hit that subscribe button. And I'm not asking that for numbers, but because it lets the episodes find you without you having to remember or keep track. And if you like having something you can read or revisit or sit with more slowly, you can also subscribe to my newsletter, and that's in the show notes as well. You can also find clips and highlights on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Substack, and Facebook. All different platforms, different doorways to the same house. So choose whatever feels easiest for you. At any point today, later, or months from now, if something in you starts whispering, I feel this nudge inside. My life or my work looks really good on paper. Everything I've built should feel good, but that's not how I feel. And sometimes that can be a sign that it's time for deeper support and reorientation. And that's where working with me in a soul story mapping session comes in. It's a private one-on-one session, not a discovery call, not a sales conversation. It's an actual coaching space to map what's true for you right now and get clear on what wants to shift. Even if you don't do anything with it, we're just going to map it out. All of the links to all of those things live in the show notes, so you don't have to hold any of this in your head, but I'm saying it now to orient you in case you're listening and something comes up and you want to know where to go next. Okay, let's drop into today's episode now. Okay, y'all, I'm so excited to introduce today's guest, Charmaine Horn. Charmaine is so many things. First of all, she's an amazing, incredible ball of energy, an all-in kind of gal, someone that you want in your corner as a total hype girl, which I have experienced personally, professionally, in all of the ways. She is a registered nurse. She is a certified life coach, a certified weight loss coach, a somatic coach. She is a Qigong teacher. She is a polyvagal informed nervous system educator. She's a CrossFitter. She's been a personal trainer. She's a rock climber. She's an ultra marathoner. She has done obstacle course races. She is a self-described weird Qigong lady, which I love, and the best personal description I've heard in a long time. She spent 8 years as a psychiatric inpatient nurse before she shifted her life in the best possible way during the pandemic. And she's going to tell us all about that in this episode. And we had so much fun in this episode. We laughed. We drew so many parallels between her story and mine and that of so many women in the health and wellness and service industry world who have reinvented themselves time and time and time and time again in their careers, but also had the courage to do that, which so many people stay put in jobs or in lifestyles that just aren't fitting and keep swimming, trying to stay afloat instead of sinking in and really listening to what their bodies are actually saying, where they're being pointed next. And she followed a call at that time by Googling something. And at that time that she made that big life-changing pivot out of nursing, it made sense on paper, and then it didn't fit. after a while, even though it was wildly successful. And that happened multiple times. She built something, it was wildly successful. She put herself all into it, which is totally her personality. And then she realized, wait, this isn't right either. And I think that the real plot twist is she realized how something that she wanted as a little girl and something that she wanted when she first started her career was trying to find air and trying to be born. All along, it just never quite had the right container until she embodied giving herself the very medicine that she was wanting to give to everyone else from such a beautiful place of service. Somehow it kept working out for her. Somehow she kissed some frogs, kept trying on new things. None of it was ever a waste of time. It gave her beautiful lessons to learn and helpful resources she could carry with her into the next iteration in the next chapter. Her courage to continually iterate herself and grow is unparalleled and so beautiful. And I cannot wait for you to hear this one. So without any further ado, here we go in the Sink and Swim podcast with Charmaine Horn. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of the Sink and Swim podcast. I am overjoyed to introduce to you today's guest, a fellow woman who was in the healthcare world and found herself taking a circuitous route into a field of work and life, really, that now fits her in a beautiful, beautiful way. I'd love to introduce to you Charmaine Horn. Welcome, Charmaine.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. We were just talking offline about the parallels between my story and your story, and the parallels between your story and that of so many women in the healthcare world that I think often are afraid to tell this part of their story or feel ashamed of, realizing that the career they went to school for or got a degree for or spent so much time and effort building might not fit them. Maybe it did at first and it doesn't anymore. And you've made so many adjustments and shifts and pivots, to use a common word, right? To figure out what does fit so many times. And that wasn't always easy. So I'm really excited for you to share the reality of it,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to, especially what you're saying about you go into this career, you invested so much money, so much time, and then when that calling is not aligned anymore, that could be a very scary and interesting journey.
Yeah. For me, it felt I went from clinician into coaching, and so did you. And we each had our own little moment where we knew we wanted to do coaching, and we'll talk about yours. And for me, I remember being so sure coaching was the right direction and also so disoriented at the same time of, well, what do I do with all this other stuff I've built at the same time? And what does that mean about me that I want to move away from something I put so much into? So there's a lot of identity stuff that comes up with it too, which is interesting. Yeah. Okay. So your first career, we'll say, like a professional career after you graduated from what was nursing school, right? Mm-hmm. Was you were an inpatient psychiatric nurse, correct? Okay. So walk me back to those years. What was the day-to-day like? What was the texture of that life for you? What even made you want to go into it in the first place?
So what made me want to go into it? Like, I honestly wanted to do something creative when I was younger. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a journalist or an artist. But with my upbringing and my parents, they wanted me to do a more secure job and to fulfill the stereotype. I'm Filipino, and basically every Filipino is a nurse. It's just what we do. My mom's a nurse. My twin sister's a nurse. We have nurses in our family. So she basically said to me, you're going to be a nurse when you grow up. So my way of making it my own, I guess, is that when I went to nursing school, I did a mental health nursing rotation. And I never knew anything about mental health. But the minute I walked into the hospital and I learned more about schizophrenia, bipolar, and depression, I don't know, there's something about that space that really fascinated me. And I loved like connecting with the patients, it was more of a space where you could connect with the patients and teach them coping skills. So I was like, oh, I kind kind of like this. And it's not really focused on the medicine part, which didn't really resonate with me. So I was like, oh, okay, I think I could become a psychiatric nurse. So that's where it started. And then I went to nursing school, became a psychiatric nurse right out of graduation in my dream hospital at UCLA. And then the day to day, it's very busy. We work 12-hour shifts. We work about 3 to 4 shifts a week. And it's just very fast paced. Like okay, I'm blessed to be in California. So we have patient ratios, patient to staff ratios. So we had 4 patients and we give them meds. I was in an adult and geriatric psych unit. So it was a little bit more medical. So we did have patients that required more care. So I would, give them medications, help feed them, help bathe them, bring them to the toilet, give them meds again, help them with food again, and then things like that. So that was like the day-to-day sort of routine there.
And you did get to also have bedside like conversations and support and coping skills and all that too.
Right. As much as I could.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard in the hospital setting because you don't have a lot of time to talk to the patients, but I did try to spend as much time with the patients one-to-one as possible. And then I also led group therapy activities in the unit. So teaching them, depending on where I was, if I was in the adult unit, I'd teach them more coping skills like cognitive behavioral therapy or things like that, aromatherapy. But with the older adults, I would teach them like chair yoga and exercises and other things.
So interesting. Not to give foreshadowing because we're going to talk about where you ended up.
Right.
And I think this is so common. The place we start out as clinicians often is a direct mirror of where we end up as non-clinicians, whether you're a coach or a teacher or a guide of some sort. Like what you're saying to me, I'm like, this is what you do now.
I know.
Minus the medication part,
Isn't it wild?
Yeah.
And the group activity part was what I enjoyed most about my job. It wasn't, the meds and things. It was more the interaction with the patient and doing the group activities. That's what I liked most.
You were so close. It's like, and that was me too. I'm like, it's like you're dancing around it, but not in the right vehicle. But at the same time, I always feel like we can't get to where we were meant to be unless you kiss some frogs or kind of try on things that weren't quite right,
Right.
So tell us about what wasn't quite right about it. How did you know that it wasn't right? Did you sense something? Did you think something? When did it feel like it was going sideways?
It's funny, like when I was a nurse, I was not into personal development or self-help work at all. So it's kind of amazing because I was quite disconnected from my body. When I was about 6 years in, maybe 5 to 6 years in, I started just feeling dread every time I woke up in the morning. It's just like dread, just telling myself things like, I hate my life. I don't want to do this. Like, I really don't want to get up out of bed. And then when I'd walk to the unit, just having like anxiety. Like I remember one time walking toward the unit and I was so anxious that I went to the bathroom and I was kind of like I didn't actually throw up, but it was like I was trying to throw up. I just felt so sick to my stomach. So it was just like getting these signals from my body that something is off, but I was like trying to force it and just trying to like deal with it. But over time, I knew eventually, then I started hearing a voice in my head that was basically saying like, you're not meant to be here. The way you're supposed to help people, this isn't it. You're supposed to help people in a different way, in a more holistic way that's more centered on long-term preventive health rather than acute care stabilization. So this isn't the right place for you, was kind of like what the voice was telling me over and over, just like nudging me like every day.
Not this. Not this. It was both a voice and a very somatic and visceral reaction, which we can wrap words around now, but at the time,
yes, absolutely.
So interesting. And I think there's this cruel irony for women in healthcare that I have seen for years in myself. My version was panic attacks, 12 years ago in what I thought was my clinical dream job. Dread and not putting the pieces together. Though that was the thing. I didn't put the pieces together at first that it was like the wrong place for me. I had some intuitions about that for sure. I knew like there was ample evidence that the environment was really toxic, that There were things that were not good, but my wiring and is to self-blame. So it was like, what's wrong with me? Right.
A lot of us can relate to that, I'm sure.
But what's so interesting about your story and the parallel here, again, and this is what I see in people in healthcare and in mental health care, I see it in all parts of people care, is you're like, I wasn't into psych or self-development or self-help at all. And yet that's exactly what you're helping people with, right? And I always say it's like, and I was doing the same, right? Like I was going to physical therapy as a patient, but I also wasn't in self-help and psych and all that kind of development. And I loved the people side of things. I loved the stories and getting to know them and helping them feel more like themselves and like figure out who they are. And right, what do I do? What do I do now? Right. So
I'm like, you're so good at that.
I feel like when we're missing it, when it's not this, whether it's very obvious, like the voices in your head and your body's giving you this really big, like flashing sign that's like, no, no, no. Or me, I'm having panic attacks and I'm not quite putting the pieces together. One of the, like, if we zoomed out and looked at it, one of the big symptoms I see, or signs, I guess, if we were like kind of clinically looking at it and going, she's doing this, is she's giving away the medicine she needs. Like, you're like, I'm not doing personal development, self-help. I wasn't into it. And yet you're helping people with that. Right. I'm like, I'm not into that either. Right. I was into none of that. And the part that I loved about my work was the self-help personal development side.
Like helping other people become their best self.
Become their best self. Yeah. Like to use a cliche. Exactly.
Right.
And it's like we were both giving away the medicine we need. And I find that it's not always exacting, right? Like it's not that for me, the physical therapy space was wrong because I was doing physical therapy as a human. It's that I was like, we went one layer deeper. It's like the thing I really was giving away, that presence, that empathy, that compassion, that empowerment, that encouragement of others, the leadership, like all that kind of stuff, the guidance was what I needed. The same for you, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't even realize it. And yeah, like what you're saying too about helping patients, and it's like what you need. I was really into things like chair yoga and helping the patients learn coping skills and helping them. Like I was always the nurse that spent more time with them and wanted to get to know them, but like wanted to help them on a deeper level.
Right.
And it's just so crazy because it's like, oh wow, now it's kind of coming back full circle. And it's like, oh wow, that's what I needed too. Like I needed time to connect with myself. I needed tools for myself. So it's so fascinating how that happens. I'm like,
and
wow.
Then, yeah, right. I mean, to spoil the end of the movie, it's like once you embody it yourself, then it's way easier and less draining and less panic inducing and less you find yourself not in environments that are bad for you, right? Because you now know how it feels in your body to choose what's right for you. So with that, something happened. You're in this dread spiral cycle. The voice saying, not this. And you somehow made your way. There was a moment where you Googled something. And it was the first shift out of there. Tell me about that.
Okay, so a little backstory. When I was a nurse and I didn't know about self-help, right? I was actually really into fitness. I love fitness. I was like a fitness junkie. I was doing like half marathons, full marathons, obstacle course races. I was in it. And so at first I wanted to be a personal trainer. So when I was a nurse, I started doing personal training on the side. I started like training my coworkers and just like helping people get fit. And what I realized when I was a personal trainer, like I thought the job change would solve everything for me. And that, oh, hey, okay, if I do this job, all my dread, everything will go away. But then when I became a personal trainer, I started realizing this is like my first flash of insight with, I don't know, coaching a little bit, but I realized, oh my gosh, I still feel like an imposter. I feel terrible in my body. I feel like so much self-doubt. I feel I'm hearing so many inner critical thoughts. And I was just like, why do I feel terrible doing this thing that I thought that I really loved? So that's when I started feeling really overwhelmed and hopeless. So I started going on Google and I just looked up self-doubt. Like, I don't even remember if I put podcast or anything. I just looked up like how to overcome self-doubt or something like that. And then one of the top hits was this podcast by the Life Coach School. And it was a podcast. It was just called Self-Doubt. So I listened to that podcast. I've never listened to podcast episodes on self-help before that. And then when I listened to it, it just like resonated. It like clicked so quickly with me. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, everything she's saying, like about your thoughts about yourself, how your thoughts create your feelings and how it causes, how your feelings lead to your actions and just everything. I felt so seen and understood that I listened to that episode probably at least like 100 times. And like I listened to it over and over and over. And then I like binge listened to the podcast she had. And it was my first look into life coaching and what life coaching is. And I was just like, wow, this stuff is amazing. Like, this is what I need.
Okay. You're actually someone who's Googling something and it gives you some direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I was feeling bad.
I think that there's a lot of, having lived in the sort of like online marketing space for a long time, and you have too. I think that there's like a lot of, I don't know what the word is, judgment. Well, don't Google it, but it actually helped you. And I think that like people who might use AI now, like they're talking with ChatGPT at 11 p.m. or they're Googling it or looking up their symptoms. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes there's something wrong with it when you like need to be talking to a human, obviously, but I think that it's often the doorway for people when they feel stuck or lost or trapped or desperate, and it can really give them most of the time good direction. And it did for you.
Right. Yeah. I think doing your own research and just finding what's really resonating can help a lot, because obviously it is important to get the help of a healthcare professional, but sometimes their view is only one perspective, and sometimes it's helpful to just look for yourself, like what you need for yourself.
Yeah. I also love the detour in your story before you got to that of the personal training, and I so resonate with this too.
Like, you must resonate.
Let me just add another job. Maybe I'll feel better. I already feel terrible.
Oh my gosh. It was such a like mind-blowing experience. I was like, why the heck did this job like not solve my problems? It was so crazy.
For me, it was like I kept doing my physical therapy job that was sucking the life out of me. I was also teaching in a PT school, like a doctor of physical therapy program. I was speaking on like national conferences.
Wow.
All things I love to do. I love teaching. I love speaking. So again, like was there, but it's like I was circling it, right? And thought that like getting a change of scenery would solve everything for me. Like, okay, it's just here. I just need a change of scenery. I need a distraction. I need something that's not the day-to-day patient care, being in a highly competitive, toxic environment, all of that. If I just do something else, I'll feel more fulfilled, more purposeful, more motivated, It just added more stress and more doubt and more pressure and imposter syndrome, like you said. Yeah.
Right. Like I feel so much of the time, especially when I was in nursing, a lot of the times when people didn't like where they're working, they're always just like, let me find another job. Let me go to another unit. And they'd always like, they'd change units, and then they'd leave eventually, So it's really interesting.
I was talking with my husband about this a couple of weeks ago because we were talking about how in my work, I'm like, and you do really similar work too, but it's like, what do you actually want? Like slow down for a second, back up. What do you actually want instead of like jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing career-wise, for example. Mm-hmm. He said to me, because he's gone through some career changes in the last couple of years, he was like, if I had someone like you, it would have saved me a whole lot of time and energy and stress. And I'm like, that's true, but you only know that on the back end, right?
Right.
So again, sometimes I think you need to kiss a lot of frogs before you finally hear your body and hear yourself. That's the only way to learn. We're just like that as humans. But at the same time, if anyone out there is doing that, listen to what we're saying, where I'm like shouting at you. Maybe you just need a human to sit down with you and be like, hey, let's slow down for a minute. Okay, so back to Googling self-doubt, listening to the Life Coach School, the one podcast 100 times. Man, like listener, their metrics were probably like going up one day and they're like, who is this person? Right? I love this.
Absolutely.
I love your enthusiasm. It's like when you're in, you're in.
In it, man. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was like, I freaking love this thing.
Freaking in the Kool-Aid. But that was a life-changing moment for you. So you left nursing, went into coaching full-time during the pandemic, by the way. Not an easy time to do that. Tell
No,
us
but it was the first
about
thing we
that.
did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was interesting because, okay, so I got my life coach school. So I got certified with a life coach school and as a life coach and a weight loss coach. And I was certified in 2018, which was the year that I listened to the podcast and everything. And then 2 years later, 2020, I was like already having some one-on-one clients. I became a weight loss coach and I was helping women mainly with emotional eating and sugar cravings.
Yeah.
That was like my specialty, like helping people stop eating sugar, stop craving sugar. So when it was 2020, I already had like 9 one-on-one clients. So I was like, oh, okay, my one-on-one practice is growing. And then since I was a psychiatric nurse, I was working per diem at the time during COVID. So when it was that time, we weren't getting a lot of psychiatric patients in the unit because all the patients like were going to the medical unit and all that. And they weren't even admitting psych patients, I don't think, at the time. So
Yeah.
I kept being canceled from work. So shift after shift, I'm not getting paid, not getting canceled. So I was like, coaching clients. And I think this is a sign from the universe that, maybe it's time to go because I'm getting canceled. So it was like a nice little push
Yeah.
to that direction of like, hey, I think this is my time that I could leave now.
Yeah. That's a lot of people, I feel like, for whatever reason in healthcare, because their department, they were just no longer essential during a pandemic, which makes sense. And or people were staying home, for the people in outpatient settings, or like for your example, they weren't even being admitted.
Right.
Might not have been seeking care because they didn't feel safe to do it. Or it was all being done telehealth or like whatever. There just wasn't enough. And so I feel like it was this cultural mass exodus for so many people in healthcare who took a shift into something either non-clinical or just a different setting of some sort. Or it was the push. It was like the great push of the pandemic in a way.
The great push. I love that.
Something new was birthed, the great push.
So good. I love it. It's true though. I mean, yeah, for a lot of people, you're right. It was like a time of awakening and a time of transition and change.
Yeah. And so you were helping women with sugar cravings and weight loss, which is a bazillion-dollar industry in our world and doesn't need to be explained, but it's really valuable work. I know I saw you doing it. It was really valuable work. We met I think it was around 2021. So it was like soon after that. Oh, spoiler, it worked until it didn't work for you.
Yes.
So this wasn't your first the leaving the hospital and going into coaching wasn't the first rodeo. And the sidebar of personal training. What? Okay, so it happened again. What? Third time, I guess, this point. What was there a moment? Was there a series of moments? Walk us through that again. What happened?
I know, it was so interesting. Honestly, I really loved it. Like at that time, I was so into it. Like I was busting out content. I had a YouTube channel that was starting to grow. My coaching business was growing too, and I was starting to sell coaching packages that I never thought I could sell, like one-on-one at premium rates. And I was like amazed, like, wow, I'm actually making money. Like this is cool. And then and the income kept growing each year. But then I don't know, in that third year around 2023, it was, I don't know, I just started feeling a bit of a disconnect. Like when I was working with clients, I think there's just so much focus on like the external, like my body, my weight, and clients didn't always want to go to the emotional aspect of it. And I know you could do your marketing and branding and things like that to attract the ideal clients too, but I felt like with weight loss, there's just so much emphasis on the external that was kind of like distracting. And sometimes the clients wouldn't want to go to do the deeper internal work and emotional work. So I was kind of like not feeling like it was completely aligned with me. And also my relationship myself with food was changing a bit. Like I used to be super like low carb, like no sugar. And then now my approach to food, it's like a little bit more intuitive. So it was kind of like my own approach to food was shifting in a way. So I was kind of like, I don't know. I'm not like 100% who I was when I first started it. So I just felt like I was evolving in some ways.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel aligned. And so what it looked like on the outside was I was no longer selling as much. I was no longer making as much content. I just didn't feel motivated to do that work. And I didn't even want to tell people what I'm doing. I didn't want to sell people. I was just like, I don't want to do anything, so it was really interesting how that unfolded.
Gosh, it's like you're telling my story, Charmaine.
Crazy. I love that.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so we had the great push of 2020, which I can relate to. And then that's when my business coaching really took off. Before that, I was doing a different kind of coaching, which was also doing really well. But I really shifted there because of all the people who were in the great push of healthcare, pushed out, right? And they were going into something new and creating something new, whether it was coaching or a clinical business or whatever it was. And so I was there to catch them. And for me, it was 2023 also.
Whoa, get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where things had shifted probably first for me. I'd gone through my own process and my relationship to my work had shifted. Again, I'd made my own series of pivots. This doesn't fit, pivot, this doesn't fit, pivot, this doesn't fit. And then I kind of looked at it and I was like, yeah, it seems like there's too much a focus on the external of growing the business, of making the money, of doing the marketing right. And nobody wants to do the deeper work, which is what I want, which is where I shine, right?
Yeah.
Just to be honest about it as a coach. And I'm good at helping them with the external work. And I know the science behind it and all the strategy, but I don't love it.
Right.
You were good at it, I'm sure, no doubt. But you're like, this doesn't align, not to mention you evolved in your relationship to your body and how you were seeing it. And it's not that it's wrong to care what you look like externally, right? But it's like, that's the only thing we're looking at. And you miss so much of the person underneath.
Right. Oh my gosh, everything you said was exactly like what I was going through. I was like, what? But yeah, it was so true. Yeah, like seeing the external, like you're right. It's like I knew exactly what to do with the food. I knew exactly how to help people lose weight, but it was just like that deeper work was what I wanted to help people with.
The why behind it. And for some people, there's an important why to lose weight and, feel good in your body and step away from sugar.
Right.
And for some people, we're trying to rearrange the furniture in the room and the decorations of the room without looking at the plumbing and the lighting, you know what I mean? Like the foundation of the room when we're feeling that something's off, right?
Right.
And I think we were both sensing that, okay, well, let's just make sure that those things are good. And then we'll talk about the things on the outside, right?
Right.
It's like an inside out way instead of an outside in.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. So something was off. And I so relate to also not wanting to talk about it and not wanting to sell it because you're in this state of dissonance.
Right.
True cognitive dissonance where you're like, here's what I'm feeling, here's what I'm saying. And it just doesn't, they don't mesh.
Right.
So then what? What happened for you? I know what happened for me, but what happened for you?
It's so interesting. So when I was coaching the weight loss clients, I was really, what lit me up was talking about the emotional eating and getting more into the emotional aspect of it. But what I found was when I tried to help them with the tools I got from life coaching, it was mostly cognitive based tools. So mostly what's going on in your thoughts, what's going on, like let's change your thoughts so that you could change your actions and change your results and things like that. And what I found with weight loss clients, and especially people who are eating emotionally, is that is not enough. Like, not at all. Like, if you take away food that is somebody's source of comfort, joy, happiness, like trauma, some sort of like trauma relief, if you take that away, a thought is not going to fix that. Like a thought, like it's so much deeper than that. It's like, what is their patterns in their nervous system? What's going on in their body that's making them feel unsafe? So I was telling my clients to keep journaling, keep self-coaching, but it just, something wasn't clicking. So I was kind of like, oh my gosh, why are they not sticking with their results? And then that's when I started to learn a little bit more about Qigong at that time. And so Qigong's a Chinese mind-body practice. And I was in a mindfulness-based stress reduction group in 2021. And I kept up with that group for a while. And one of the people from that MBSR group told me about Qigong. And I started like looking into it. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like a practice where you're in your body, like you're moving your body, you're working with your body. And I really wanted to teach my clients a practice where they could be comfortable in their body and have a better relationship with their body. And when I tried to tell them to meditate, oh, that was like torture. They hated meditating. So I started teaching them moving meditations, and that helped them get more comfortable in their body. And then I realized, oh, this is a great bridge to looking internally. And then that's when I started focusing more on that. I'm like, oh, hey, I like Qigong a lot. And then that's when I started making shifts to becoming a Qigong teacher.
Yes. And how did like Qigong serve you? Were you also feeling, like more connection to yourself that way?
Yeah, like the main reason why I went to Qigong, even before I told my clients about it, was because I'm a fitness junkie and everything, right? I also go very hard. So like in 2022, I had done LA Marathon. I've done a Spartan trifecta weekend. I did a Ragnar relay race. So I did a lot of races that were high, long distance sort of runs. And then one day in November of that year, I like did a CrossFit workout, and then the next day I could not walk anymore. I could not walk, bend my knees, move. I was like, what the frick? My knees are messed up. So since my knees were messed up, I could not do all the things I like to do: running, CrossFit, rock climbing. So I needed a practice to help me move and feel sane when I was not able to move like I usually do. So Qigong was like that bridge to help me with my knee injury. And then, so at first it was a physical thing, but then eventually I realized it helped me emotionally. And I realized it helped me get through a lot of grief when my niece passed, and it helped me with anxiety and burnout. So I was like, wow, this is a great tool for my emotions also.
Fancy that. Yeah. And so kind of in a bit of a parallel, you were experiencing the benefit of moving from within your body.
Mm-hmm.
First it was a movement tool, and then you're like, oh, it's helping my emotions too. It's so crazy. And then you saw, well, this might help my people as well.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Another like you first, right? It's like you shifted from everyone else first and kind of ignoring what's going on inside of you until it's screaming at you.
Right.
To wait, hold on, let me embody it first, and then give that medicine away once I have enough for myself.
Right. Right. Like I don't think I ever would have recommended Qigong unless I did it myself first, because it's,
Right.
first of all, nobody even knows what the heck it is. You kind of have to go in the weeds to even know what the heck it is. It's like, what is that? But yeah, it's a more, what I like about it is it's a more internally based movement practice. So it's not focused on your muscles, not focused so much on it could help your body externally and structurally, but the main focus of Qigong, like the literal translation of Qigong means energy work, or the skill of cultivating your energy. So it's really more focused on how you're doing movements to change your internal world. So it's really energy focused. So that's what I love about it.
Okay. So you became a Qigong teacher.
Yeah.
And then you still had some moments to move through from there.
There's always a moment. Yeah, so it was interesting. So I was teaching Qigong to my weight loss clients, and then I was like, wow, I really like Qigong more. Like I got so immersed into learning more about Eastern medicine and Chinese medicine. I got really into learning about acupressure, acupuncture, learning more about traditional Chinese medicine. And then I was like, wow, I love this more. I think I want to just switch to Qigong full time. In 2023, at the end of that year, I just decided to stop my weight loss coaching business completely. I took a year off in 2024 to just get certified in Qigong, to learn about Chinese medicine. I worked in an acupuncture office, took up a 9 to 5 to just be in the acupuncture space and learn more about it. And then I went full time in 2024 as a teacher. And that's what I've been doing ever since, teaching in-person classes, online classes. But also right now I combine it with coaching. So at first I was very focused on only Qigong, but then I realized later, I'm like, oh, you do have to incorporate, you have to incorporate the somatics with the cognitive, the mind-body
go
connection.
Together. That's right.
Yeah, I was very separate. I was like, I'm not going to do cognitive, only the body, only the somatics. And then I was like, I can't do somatics only. I have to put them both together. I went on this whole journey. And then I'm so now I do one-on-one coaching that combines somatics and movement-based, body-based modalities to help people overcome their mental health challenges and emotional challenges.
Love this. So we've come full circle.
Oh my
through
word.
a
What a
million
journey.
different detours and, side quests and full-time quests
Oh
and
yeah.
deciding to become an employee for a while because you're like, I just need to get my life together,
Oh yeah.
and get trained and all of that. And here you are now back into incorporating it as coaching work with all you've learned, but so clear that it's not about the outside in of the muscles and the body and like what it looks like or even how it's functioning, right? Fitness wise or like that kind of like the results, like the measurable, tangible, seeable things.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had to live through all of that yourself, like not had to. I mean, I guess you chose to kind of, but
Right.
I don't know what the word is, but now it's like you've taken all the best pieces of each and every one of those stops along the way and created something with it to bring
Mm-hmm.
it all the way full circle to little Charmaine who wanted to be creative.
Oh my God, you're so right. Yes. That's so wild.
And you followed the pre-written paths or paths that were written by someone else, either for you, your family and your culture, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
or, you loved fitness. That was a huge thing you loved.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as we've already highlighted, you're an all-in kind of gal. So you're like, I'm all in, man. Like
Right.
competitions and this and that and huge endurance races and obstacle courses. I mean, this sounds so fun, honestly. But you're getting injured and you're getting burned out and you're getting sick and you feel terrible there. You even try to make it a career and you're like, no, I don't feel good here. Right. And then you're like, okay, let's try the mental side, which is where you started, right?
Yes, that's where I started.
Still circling the drain, right? It's like we're still circling. Had learned a lot there, went all in. I would expect nothing less from you and me, right? Like we're not doing this halfway. And then we're like, wait a minute, hold on. There's a gooey inside to these people, right?
Yes.
And I only learned that because I have one. And I realized I have a gooey inside.
But you
right?
too? Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
Right. And it's like all of this work around staying outside of that gooey inside. And I think the thought work, the cognitive work, while it's so beneficial, still keeps you out of the gooey inside.
Oh, yeah. It can even be
You
a
get close
distraction.
to it. You kind of get near it. Like, I think this and therefore I feel this, right? And then we move right back out into, and this is what I'm going to do about it, right?
Yep.
So it's so interesting that now it's like you had this experience with Qigong where it's like, hold up. It's about inside out. It's the gooey inside that brings so much energy. And this is how it connects to all those things on the outside. And it's like, you haven't necessarily, it's not like that those things were necessarily a waste of time. I saved the word detour. But it's like
love that.
You've picked up the good things of them and integrated them into your work, to your identity, into your method. There's so much value in that.
And I thank you for saying it wasn't it didn't mean that I wasted time or it doesn't mean anything went wrong, because I truly believe everything you go on in your journey, even if it takes years, like this whole process, you guys, it's like 2026 now, okay? It takes years to kind of pivot, learn, and shift. And it's all necessary. Like every single thing I went through was necessary. Like I think I had to go through Qigong in order to hold more space as a coach, because I was more comfortable in my body. When I was a life coach initially, it was so uncomfortable for me to like watch somebody cry and I'd feel so triggered and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What to do? And I think I had to go through this whole journey of like, let me feel comfortable in my body. Let me learn how to regulate my nervous system, how to hold space for other people without judging them. Like I had to go through so much to this point where I am now, where I feel so much more safe and regulated when I'm coaching other people, because it's like I know how to feel settled in my body now. And it's like so different how I coach now from now since like 2020. It's insane how different it is. It's crazy.
Yeah. But not for a lack of really good intention. Oh, it's like if we go back to young Charmaine, who's on her nursing clinicals, right? And getting that experience of, wow, like the mental health rotation and really connecting with patients and teaching them coping skills, being that person for them who doesn't just push a quick fix of medicine, and the intention was there. The vehicles didn't quite fit. You picked up things along the way in each vehicle that you created. And now it's like, oh, we're here now. And it's taken more than 6 years, right? Because I feel like the personal training experience, the nursing experience has colored and flavored your experience here.
Right. Yeah, the personal training, all that's, that was way before that.
But it brings in such a credibility is the word. I think trust is the better word for people who might be, pouring themselves into their fitness and things just don't feel right, or something's not right at work or something's not right with something they once loved. Sometimes we have the wherewithal as individuals to get inside our bodies and listen to our intuition or just energy or feel it. But a lot of us weren't brought up with that type of inner compassion and awareness and actually listening to those signals as data and information and not something to be quieted also. So I think it's really, really cool that you have the experience of, we'll call it the outer world, so that you can relate to people who might be there on the journey.
Right. Definitely needed that experience. I don't feel like I could coach as well without that experience because I wouldn't be able to have the same empathy and the same understanding, compassion for them. I definitely had a lot of perfectionist tendencies, especially when I was a new nurse, that made me feel almost like judgmental of people. And so it's like I had to,
right? Oh, I love that you said that. I felt almost judgmental of people.
Oh, yeah. Just 100%. It's like when you have such high standards for yourself and other people aren't on the same expectations that you have for yourself, then it's like, it's natural. It's almost like natural to like judge others. And it's like, it was hard for me to coach people from that space because I couldn't see things from their point of view.
Right. Because it's like you're trying to get them to see things your way or how they should be seeing it. Right.
I always knew what they needed to do.
I'm here to fix you.
Like, oh gosh.
I think that there's something really beautiful about that with thought work and belief work and mindset work. It's so beautiful. And it's the doorway for so many people into more inner work and like more embodiment. I think that where it stops us short is it can very subtly tell people the way you're thinking is wrong.
Right.
And you just need to change that. It's like put up a veneer in your brain, put a filter over the way you're thinking and think this way, and then you'll feel better. And I think inherently that can feel really empowering when you realize that you're like, oh, there's another way to think about things. That's so valuable, right? But the message that it can send is it can invalidate the inner experience or quiet it or you avoid it or you miss it. Because it's like, if I just change what's going on up here in my head, my whole world will change.
Yeah. Which is, it's so true. It's like, it does sort of invalidate, like it could feel invalidating. Like I love coaching, like everything you said, you do need to have that cognitive aspect and it's helped me so much. But at the same time, it could feel a little invalidating or if someone's just like, let's choose a different thought. Let's choose a different. I don't know. It feels so exhausting and like a lot of pressure. And especially if you have like people pleasing tendencies, you might want to just people please the coach. It could lead to a lot when the more important question is just like, did that thought, where did that come from? Like what in your upbringing led you to have that thought? And there's so much richness in that world,
Yeah. I love I've done so much somatic training as well and some parts work. And I love how compassionate it is because just to use people pleasing as an example, it's an intelligent response from your nervous system.
Yes.
Also known as the fawning response. And we would not be feeling a certain way, which is leading you to want to people please. One, upbringing for sure. Also, just two, it's not wrong. It's not bad. It's the same way that saying it's not wrong or bad to be mad at someone who's hurting you, right? Like you should be mad. You shouldn't just edit your thoughts and be like, it's fine.
Right. Like, no, your feelings are valid.
Actually, your body is telling you something really wise here, which is get away, run, flee. So I think that the fawning response, I was just talking about this with my somatic therapist this week, is like, it gets a bad rap because we go to people pleasing where we go, that's bad, you shouldn't do that. And then it's the worst thing to tell someone who's people pleasing because then they want to do it right. And then they want to follow the rules. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to hide my people pleasing and just change how I'm thinking. And like, then they just spiral, and it's so invalidating. And it's like, no, actually, this is here for a reason. And it's your system saying something about this interaction with this other person doesn't feel safe to my body.
Right.
Accurate read. Something doesn't feel safe. It might be because of I might be misreading the situation, or it might be that they're not giving me something that I need, or it might be that I'm not showing up fully myself. And that might be because of my half of the street or their half of the street. They're not creating space and safety for that, or both. And it's like, then when we can look at it a little bit more that way, it's like, do I need to change my relationship to the situation? Do I need to leave the situation? Do I need support? There's so many ways to say, what is my body asking for, instead of how do I need to change the way I see this,
Right. Because you might not even see it.
Right.
When you're in it, what I realized, especially when I was a nurse, and because I was a stress eater for a long time, that's why I like to help women with emotional eating, because I was a stress eater myself. When you're stress eating, in my mind, I don't think it's related to anything other than the food. But then once I stopped stress eating, I started realizing like, oh, actually, I'm stressed at work because my relationships with my coworker is making me stressed out because I don't like to delegate. I don't like to ask for help. And I don't like to have conflict with people because I'm a people pleaser.
Right.
So I don't like to confront people if they're doing something that I feel like is like not helpful to the workspace. When I didn't stress eat, then my body was telling me, hey, we're stressed out because of your relationship. So I would not have known that if I was just in my head. I had no idea. So
And if
the body has so much wisdom.
If you're just trying to change your thoughts about the food or your
exactly.
body,
right,
you've missed the entire plot, which is about your feelings of safety in those professional interactions.
Right. It's so crazy. Yeah, there's so much depth beneath the surface that you can't even cognitively, you don't even know it's there until you explore it deeper.
I know. So funny. Interesting. Well, here we are inside the body now. And so now you help people put it all together in such a beautiful way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like my goal is to help people have more of that mind-body connection and that awareness of their internal signals, and how to actually like listen to your body so you can have that internal compass and you can learn what's truly aligned for you and what's not. And a lot of people are like disconnected from those signals within.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gosh. In our world, I think that, this personal development, just to pull it back to that self-help, I think that it's so easy to give people the idea that this is all yours to take care of and fix and carry. And yet, if you own a smartphone, it's very easy to get out of your body. They're designed to keep you out of your body and distract you. If you turn on the news, your system's going to get activated. So it's also the environment. It's the culture. I think of like you were talking about your culture upbringing, and you developed, right, this belief system on what you should and shouldn't be doing with your life.
Oh yeah.
All of us have that, right? In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So we can't change an entire cultural belief system. You can't do that. But I think it's really interesting is, especially being a coach who guides someone, you're like, I can help you make this shift. You don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to carry the world on your back. Yes, you ultimately are doing the work, but we aren't meant to do it alone, and it's such a beautiful thing as a helper to let people see they don't have to do it alone.
Right. And they do need that outward perspective, because it's really hard when you're immersed in your own feelings and your own experience. It's really, really hard, especially if you're feeling depressed or anxious. Like it's really, really hard to like look outside of that. And it is so helpful to have that sort of external lens, and to just help you zoom out a little better.
I love the phrase, like, get you out of your own way, right?
Yeah.
Or just see your blind spots, the stuff you just can't see.
Oh yeah. There's so many things like, that's for myself. It's hard for me to see for myself.
Yeah. I think in the spirit of like, we never fully arrive. I mean, obviously this story we're telling of both of us, the parallels, it's like, what would you tell someone who's like, oh my gosh, look at all she's created and learned? Do you think we ever stop growing and learning? Do you think that it's an endless pursuit? Do you think that there's things that you'll always want to keep an eye on for yourself? You know what I mean? Where it's like you've learned about it and you're aware of it, but it's not like you've arrived at this spiritually heavenly place where you're like, I'm perfect and I don't need to grow anymore and I'm fine and I figured it all out and my business is perfect and everything's great. You know what I mean? Like what would you tell someone who's kind of on that personal development pursuit?
Oof. Well, first of all, I would share that it's gonna be uncomfortable when you have awareness of certain patterns, when you have awareness of your emotions. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong if you're feeling down, if you're feeling all the feels. That's actually a good thing. That's actually more of a sign that you're starting to be aware of your patterns, and that's the stepping stone to starting to releasing some patterns. But these patterns that we developed are so long ingrained. We've been recycling the same habits, like your nervous system has the same protective mechanisms for so many years. So you might see the same patterns repeat, and it could be tempting to think to yourself, am I ever even making progress?
Yeah.
Like why am I like going back to the same thing? So it's so helpful to just have compassion for yourself in this journey. And I never think you'll ever be done. Like, I don't know. If you're really interested in doing the work and you are wanting to grow and do something new, the work will never be done. I don't know. It's kind of like what I'm thinking of is that book by David Goggins, like called Never Finished. It's just, you're never finished. And I think that the faster you accept that, the more at peace you could have with that. So you're not like constantly, because I was always in the trap of like, once I reach 100K or whatever, I'm done. Or once I get a 5K month, like I'm done. But it's like, you're never done. So
Nothing's permanent. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Like when the challenge comes again, when it comes around again, it's like it's less surprising.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt any less, but it might be less surprising, or you might question it less, which then makes it, I think that's the part that makes it where people are like, it'll make it easier the next time. It's not easier, but you're like, oh, it doesn't surprise me as much. I'm not taken by, I'm not startled. I'm not like, oh my God, why is this here? When it's like, well, I'll see you again someday. Till we meet again.
Exactly. Like you could have more compassion, you're more open to it, you're more curious. So your mindset around it, I feel like it does turn from like less judgmental to more open and curious, and so it's not so painful. I mean, it doesn't feel any easier, but sometimes, but you do have that expectation, and you also increase your capacity for things like discomfort. So you get better at holding space for yourself.
It's like, it's like you're developing muscle around it. It's like, it's still heavy, but it's
very heavy.
You have more capacity. I love the word capacity for it. It's like, okay, I can handle this. Yeah. Still a big lift, but I can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see what you're capable of, and you see, wow, I'm capable of so much more than I ever thought possible. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So good. Well, we could talk about this for a billion hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which I would love, honestly. But I think it's a wonderful time to shift into the lightning round questions, which both have nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but somehow always have everything to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready? They're a bit hot seat.
Oh my gosh, I'm ready. Let's go.
Number 1, if you could be any animal other than a human, what would it be and why?
Oh my God. I've always resonated with birds. I don't know. I think there's this thing about birds that, I don't know. I like that feeling of flying, having spaciousness, having, I don't know, I guess a view of a bigger picture, and just flying and feeling free. I don't know. I think a part of me likes choosing my own path and being free. And so I like birds.
Shocking.
I know, right? Like, don't tie
sounds
me
correct.
down.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. I've noticed, like, I've just become more aware of birds.
Fascinating.
I don't know. I just have lately. It's kind of nice.
Yes.
Particularly blue ones. Like, I'm just like, wow, no other animal is blue. Are they?
Mm-hmm.
They're blue. I mean, I guess whales maybe, but like.
Yeah, that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah. It's just not a common color other than the sky and water that we see in nature,
Yes.
and my eyeballs.
Yeah.
My eye color.
Those beautiful blue eyes.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. Number 2, if you could get a drink, any kind, with 2 people living or not living, who are they? And what would you want to say or ask them or know?
Well, one of them that comes to mind is a current mentor of mine, Kyle Cease. He's like an amazing, he calls himself a transformational comedian. He's like a spiritual comedian. He's like hilarious and I love all his teachings. Do you know Kyle Cease?
No. Writing this down.
Oh my gosh. He's amazing. He's all about the inner work and he's so funny at the same time. So he's all into like learning about your body and things like that also. So I'd love to sit with him. Someone else who's coming to mind. I don't know. This is kind of interesting. Lao Tzu. He's like the father of like traditional Chinese medicine, basically. Like, I just love learning about his principles of not, effortless action, not forcing things. So I would love to pick his brain.
No kidding. Wow.
Girl.
A spiritual comedian and the founder of Chinese medicine. Okay.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, more like the founder of Taoism, but yeah.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
Again, that doesn't sound surprising. There's like such a lightness to it. And then also like wonder and curiosity and creativity and then like, but depth as well.
Thank you. Got to add that depth,
Got to have it. All right. 3rd question. Less of a deep question. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Are you my people or are you a pineapple gal?
I'm a pineapple gal.
Oh, yeah. No, girl. What?
Yeah, I know.
Pineapple's by itself, girl.
Did I just move down? Like, you're having second thoughts about this conversation.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I thought we were friends and no, just kidding. Oh my God, that is hilarious. I'm dying.
I'm actually a little bit neutral about it. I don't care if it's not there. If it's there, I'm happy to eat it. I don't normally add it to my pizza. So like, the question is tricky, right? If we're going to parse it out. Belong on pizza, I'm like, you can be here. It's fine.
Very inclusive.
But I'm also okay with you not being here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Ask my husband though, and the pineapple is there. If he's listening, it's there most of the time. He can do without it, but yeah. Okay. Number 4. I'm a fly on the wall on an average Friday night for you.
Oh my gosh.
What do I see you doing?
Oh, well, I'm not at home because I'm rock climbing, usually in the gym. That's what I do Friday night. I go to the gym and rock climb. That's basically it. Or I'm just at home with my cats and my husband and we're just watching some like documentary or a cooking show. We love cooking shows. We love like Food Network shows. I love food competition shows.
Yeah, I can watch the British baking show all day.
Oh my gosh, girl.
Reruns, bring it. I'm here for it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back in your good graces when we talk about that.
You're all right. You're all right, you know?
All right, I'm not kicked out. All right, last one. What is a hidden pleasure or obsession of yours that people might find surprising, weird, quirky, or questionable?
I mean, my biggest obsession right now, which is probably not surprising, but it is what I'm obsessed with, is CrossFit. Like, I literally, everyone thinks it's a cult. They're right. Just kidding. But it's like, I do it like 5 days a week.
Kidding, sort of.
Sort of. Some people have called me a cult leader at my gym because I like invite everybody to the gym. I'm like, come join us. Yeah, I'm pretty obsessed about that. I love like throwing barbells around and yelling and just throwing my body onto the floor every morning, wondering why the hell am I doing this? Oh yeah, because I like it. But yeah, it's great.
The all-in girl. There she is. She is all in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So true.
The questions have nothing to do with what we talked about and everything to do with what we talked about.
Everything, girl. You're right.
I challenge someone to answer these questions and be like, see, had nothing to do with that. Because
Yeah.
we're just all one integrative human, which I think is just so great.
Yes, we are.
Well, Charmaine, thank you for being here. Tell us how to get in touch with you, what you want us to know about your work, all that good stuff. And I'll put it in the show notes.
So my website is charmainehorn.com. That's CharmaineHorn.com. And on that website, I have a lot of free resources. If you want to learn more about what nervous system state you might be stuck in. If you're in a survival state, I have a free quiz there and
Nice.
and I recommend some Qigong movements you could do according to what state you're in. And I have my Instagram, which is Coach Charmaine Horn, and TikTok, Coach Charmaine Horn.
Nice. So the same handle both places? Yes. That makes it easy to remember and find you. Yay. Well, thank you for being here. We'll have to bring you back in case there's another iteration that comes.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. I would love to.
We said nothing's permanent. Who knows what's coming next?
No,
all I know is you're going to be all in, whatever it is.
Yes. Amen.
We can count on that for sure.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
All right. We'll see you
Bye.
soon.
Thanks for having me.